Hi guys, it is Friday the 8th of August, it is 12:58, we were late today. The reason why we were late today, I was up the entire night last night and I managed to get maybe a couple hours sleep just before coming into the store. Pamela, on the other hand, was sleeping like a baby most of the night, and then she went to go and pick up a bike for Sarah, our daughter, today, and got lost. So
royally lost.
She got lost.
The guy gave me the wrong postcode, right address, took me to the middle of nowhere, which had a farm, and met two lovely dogs and a field full of goats. Never got the bike. Eventually got the right postcode. Ended up back in the middle of Bridgewere, but I was 45 minutes behind my rigorous routine plan. Timescales. Totally ruined. Didn't get here till 12:30.
So what's your plans for today?
Finishing off this.
The price list.
I got loads done yesterday. It's almost finished.
Yesterday wasn't a day we were working, Pamela.
But I worked on it yesterday.
It's one of the things where people don't realise that we actually work out with the store as well.
Yeah, I had to because I was behind.
Yeah.
So once I've finished the little dribble on the senior player, junior player, figure skates done, goalie's still to be done, and inline still to be done. But what I'm going to do is stop, do my till uploads, and do the website uploads, and then go on and do goalie and inline, and then hopefully have that done in the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping to have everything, my CSV files ready to go on your website, hopefully by the end of today.
Fingers crossed.
I've already got a lot of Bauer's ones because they were really nice. Bauer gave us them, so I can throw them on. I'm going to create my own for the Warrior and the CCM products. Very luckily the figure skate's not changing, so I just have to get and alter all the prices, which is a bit boring, but it's just, you just go in and change them as you go. Some of them don't change, some of them do change, so I've got that to do. I'm going to try and work on that.
Where are you up to on your DIY project?
I was supposed to go to B&Q this morning to pick up the bases for the boxes, because I want to come in on Sunday and do some painting and do the boxes on Sunday, but the kids never get out of their bed till 9:45, so made me completely late, which is why I was behind. Then I needed to pick up the bike for Sarah. I don't need to pick up the bike for Sarah, but we're picking up a bike for Sam tonight, and I didn't want him to have now two bikes and she don't have any bike. So
the fact that Sam's getting another bike, it's a BMX he's getting this bike.
Yeah, it's just a wee second-hand BMX because I don't want him ruining, or we don't want him ruining, the bike that he's got.
That we got from Cycle Lane.
We got from Cycle Lane from John, thank you very much. He sorted us out with a bike. It's a very expensive bike, so I don't want him just kicking about the streets in it. That's the bike that he will hopefully use and go with you down the pit cycle path and go on adventures with. But at the moment, when he's kicking about the streets with his pals, I don't want him on his brand new bike in case somebody takes it off him. You know what people are like. I'd rather it was just a wee second-hand bike that he can abuse and abuse, and then it doesn't matter if he breaks it, because he breaks bloody everything.
Right, I'll go on and tell everyone what I'm up to today. So I was at the Urban Flyers training session last night, and again I have come back with loads of goodies to work on. I have a Grizzled veteran of the SNL's harness. We have Scott Cowan's shoulder pads that we're working on today. So the situation with his shoulder pads is one of the parts has came loose, and I have to do a little stitch repair on this one. That's the first repair. The second repair that we also have is his shin has actually came loose in here, where there's a rivet that holds this in place. That has to be riveted back in place. That's basically what it's like on the other side. I'm going to have to replicate that, get that done. I also have another repair on his shoulder pads that he's looking for to be done, which is, let me see if I can do this with one hand. The straps have become elongated and they don't work very well. They're not as elasticated as they used to be. So what we're going to have to do is find some strapping, which we already have, put some new Velcro on it, and then obviously fit them to the actual harness. Now, both sets of straps seem to be too elongated because they don't have any stretch left in them. So that is something that I'm going to be doing with that. That's your second and third job that we've got. Fourth and fifth job that we've got today, as well as we also have another Urban Flyers legend, Stephen Young. He is going to get annual sharpen. He only gets his skates done maybe once a year. He's only skating in a 5'8", so he likes to have plenty of glide. His son Lewis, who is playing for the Solway Sharks, He's gave me his skates as well to do. His skates are a riot. Wait till I show you the steels on these. They are absolutely unreal. I don't know how he can skate on this. So if we have a quick look at his steels here, you can see that it's pretty far gone, and he's been skating the whole summer with that, like that. He has got no toe whatsoever, and it's going to have some major cross grinding work done on them. They're chipped and chunked to the max. We also have a set of steels in to be flattened out in the middle section, which I've done some measurements, and that's ready to go. And I also have to show you for the first time, because I was actually in yesterday. We were in the process of being out during the day and taking myself and Sam for a haircut, and I decided to come back to the store just to have a little double check on the work that I'd done on the Twitch stick. So here we go. This Twitch stick now has the carbon fibre sock over the top of it. As we can see, it is pretty rough here because we still have to finalise the actual finishing process on this. My plan of action is today that I'm going to be sanding some of this back, and then I'm going to put a slightly thinner coat over the top of it because the resin has went really well in some places and really bad in the other places. I say really bad, it's not really bad, it's just it didn't take on this part here, so there is an area where the resin wasn't compressed, just here. But you can see where the line is, there's a line of where the resin has been compressed, and then further than that it seems to be absolutely solid. There is going to be some prep work that has to get done for this because I'm going to have to use the palm sander to knock some of the high spots down, and then we're going to put another coat of resin over the top of it, and then the stick is ready to go back to the customer. Now, one of the things I'm going to say is this blade has never been as stiff. It has never, and I mean not even from the factory has it ever been that stiff. Now, I'm hoping that that's going to be a good thing because the stick itself is still in really good condition. The shaft area is still in really good condition. The blade is still technically quite good. It has added a little bit of weight to the stick, but it's the same point. Obviously, that's going to happen considering the fact we've had to infill some of the channel with carbon fibre. So for you guys that are new to the channel and for the people that haven't been seeing this stick was actually broken in more or less in half. The blade was still okay on the front side, but it was cracked all on this side here, and there was a chunk missing out the blade here, there was a chunk missing out the blade here, and then what happened was the blade had actually been fixed. There was a crack that ran from here all the way across to here, and it was refixed and finished. And then what happened was a customer came in the store and was talking to me in the back store when I was working on the sharpening machine, stood on the blade and broke it again. They didn't know it, and I didn't know it because, well, it wasn't until after they had left I realised that it had been broken. So one of the things that I am now going to have to do, or what I did have to do, was I had to make the channel slightly wider. So there was a 10mm channel the whole way across this area here. Now it went to a 30mm channel which went all the way across there, and there was carbon fibre sock or sleeve which was embedded into the actual makeup of the blade in between the channels. Now there's two channels that run from the toe all the way into the heel which are called spines, and these spines, in between the spines there is foams that Bauer and other companies put into the blade to give you the feel and the pop of your shot, so that they're not making them full one-piece carbon fibre blades because they can be brittle and they can be too heavy. What I've ended up having to do is channel out the foam in this direction and this direction in 3 different places, and then backfill that with carbon fibre and resin in between. So that was the first couple of repairs that had to happen to that one. Then there was another piece of carbon fibre which was a 3K carbon fibre weave that was put from here to here to make the blade slightly stiffer at the back area where it was all the work was done, which covered over the work. Then after that it was sanded back, it was then wetted out, there was resin put over the top of it and painted on, and then we slid the carbon fibre sock over the top of it, and then we compressed this area as well. So it is now being compressed, and that is now stuck on and will not come off, I hope. So anyway, that is the plans for today. The plan for me originally is to try and get all of this work done today. I would really like to try and see if I can get this stick finished as soon as possible, because if I'm honest about it, I'm fed up looking at it. That's no disrespect to Bauer, that's no disrespect to the customer in any way, shape or form. It's just every single time you think you've got something fixed on it, something else comes up. Now, what I mean by that was We had the blade fixed, someone stood on it. We then fixed the blade again, we found a hole here. Then it's had to be refilled, another piece of carbon fibre put across this area to give it structural rigidity and beef up that area. Then the carbon fibre sock had to be put over the top of it and it had to be resined in place. Now we have to try and see if we can get the finishing process made a little bit easier, and something that we can do for that is using plastics and stuff like that to be able to clamp to these, to be able to make sure that they take the shape of the blade and the epoxy resin adheres to the blade the way it should. Now obviously there's another thing that's going to have to be fixed as well. At the toe you can still see a left on this piece of material, and this piece of material was to hold the sock in position. Now that will be taken away by the grinder, the skate grinder that is, and I'll get that sorted as well today. I've got to go and do this skate profile first. Once I do the skate profile, hopefully I will come back to you and I'll show you everything that I'm going to be doing. I will be using the sewing machine today. I may try and see if I can get some time-lapse footage of me actually sewing on that machine. And then there's obviously some other jobs that have to be done round about that. No doubt there will be other people coming in the store as well. Like I say, we were slightly late today, so we are behind, and I'm on a time scale now to make sure that I can get everything done. So the first job I decided to do was the blade shaping. Now the blade that you had originally came in was a lot more rocker than this, and it has been flattened out in this area here. So that's job one. That has now been done. It's just got to get put back into the skate and sharpened at 5/8, which is lucky because the other two sharpenings that are sitting up there are 5/8 also. The next job that I have eventually done, the reason why I haven't done the skates yet is I'm letting them cool down. The next job I have done is I have riveted on the repair, which has got the washer and the standard skate rivet. So that standard skate rivet is more or less the same as that one. That has now been put on. That is now sturdy and ready to go back to the customer. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to have to do a little sewing repair, which is this one. That one will get done as soon as I've finished doing everything else. Unfortunately, that one's going to take a little bit more time because I'm going to have to actually fabricate straps, and I'm going to have a look at the harness as well, because I think there is a couple of areas where the harness, the actual shoulder pad is coming off, so I'm going to re-sew that in myself, give it basically a little MOT, and then I'll get it ready to go. So Lewis's skates were only originally meant to be a sharpening. That is now not the case. These skates, there was not one rivet in the skate that was holding in the right way. They were all absolutely rusted within an inch of their life. So it is now being re-riveted. The full skates have been re-riveted apart from the coppers. The coppers were okay. The rest of the steels were absolutely falling out. They were rusted within an inch of their life. I take it it's one of these things in the National League, we don't dry our skates and we don't actually look after them because we're a paid athlete. It's one of these situations where, again, this can happen to anyone, but mostly what happens is maybe one rivet will start to go and then the rest of them will start to fail, and that's exactly what's happened. These skates have been used for a full season and obviously they were long overdue some TLC. So now that's them all done, they're ready to get sharpened. The steels, as we can see, they have been cross-ground within an inch of their life to be able to get them as level as possible. Not only as level as possible, to be able to take the toe rake out of them, because he was basically skating on them with no toe whatsoever, and what toe he did have, it looked like a figure skate because they were so chipped. But anyway, they're now sorted, and that's another one that I can then tick off the list. So one of the things that's happened today is we've managed to find out that we've run out of the Velcro that we need. So a quick jump online to one of my suppliers and I've managed to get some ordered. Hopefully it'll be here tomorrow. I was kind of hoping it would have been here today, but it's not going to be here today. It's going to be here hopefully tomorrow. One of the other things I did so far off camera, I took the white part of the sticker off of the toe. Obviously it's still rough. It has to be finished. It has to be sanded back. I'm going to do some sanding on that. Most of the other jobs have been done. It's just Scott's shoulder pads that have to be done now. That's the only thing I've got left to do today. It's been excessively busy today, and when I say excessively busy, it's been every 2 minutes I've had spare to do anything. We had a lot of sharpenings in. Pamela is just frantically going through the price lists, still going through the price lists, and every time I think I'm getting ahead, I hear a random voice in the background, and it's Pamela. And what is she doing? Talking to herself. So I keep thinking she's talking to me, but she's not talking to me because she doesn't like me today.
Busy?
Yeah, apparently she's too busy. So anyway, I'm going to go on, get this sanded back and see how we go. 4 minutes past 6, that's me finished for tonight. I have done excessive and I mean excessive amounts of sharpenings today. Very, very, very busy today, which was good. We need it to be busy because obviously it's coming to the start of the season, so you can see everyone getting themselves prepped and ready to go. The last job I had on the agenda tonight was knocking down any of the high spots on the carbon fibre stick on the Twitch. I didn't record it. The reason being is I didn't have time, and I had a customer and a friend that came in. Was obviously we were talking skates and stuff like that. We were talking about my problem that I've got with my True skates, and he was talking about his new custom skates. The problem I have with my True skates at the moment is I'm having a problem with my left foot. I am having to buy a 9.5 wide to accommodate my big foot, and my smaller foot is a half a size and a width smaller. So my left foot is a 9D fitting and my right foot is a 9.5 EE fitting. And we were talking about the fact that I may have to go down the custom route because I'm having a problem with my left skate deteriorating very, very rapidly because I'm having to over tighten the skate to get the support out of that skate. Anyway, I digress. That was a conversation, and this is the finished product. So if we have a wee look here, we can see that the carbon fibre sock has been wet out and it has been compressed already. That's already been done. Now what's happened is any of the high points where there was high resin here and here has been knocked down, and it has been issued with its final coat of resin. Now that issue of the final coat of resin is just basically tie everything back in and make everything look as if it's meant to be there. Obviously it doesn't look as if it's meant to be there because it's a 3K carbon weave that is on it now, in comparison to carbon fibre weave that is on Twitch is slightly different. It's slightly different materials. It's a different batch of carbon fibre or a different weave of carbon fibre. It's squared, whereas this is obviously a tight 3K weave. So that tight 3K weave, in my opinion, is something that the sticks used to be made out of. Now, bearing in mind that this stick has been rebuilt basically from the ground up, and what I mean is there's a channel that goes down here, a channel that goes down here, and then it's three. So if you imagine 3 different channels with 2 spines, that had to be rebuilt in this area here, and this is all new material that's in here. We'll see how it affects the stick. Once I sanded it back and had a little feel of it, yes, it's going to make the blade feel slightly heavier, and the reason why it's going to be slightly heavier is there's now more carbon fibre and more resin in that area, specifically in here near the heel, which is going to obviously stiffen up the blade. We've got another sheet of carbon fibre 3K weave that's over underneath this part here that was originally put on and sanded back to try and tie everything in. Then we'll put the carbon fibre sock over the top of it, and then we've resined that into place as well. So hopefully once this is all finished, that stick should be all singing, all dancing, good to go. We'll see if it lasts. I'm very, very interested to see. I mean, I don't want to take it on and break it myself because it's not my place to break. It's somebody else's stick, and I've done this repair to see if I can showcase my talents. Not saying that I've got talents, but ginger hair isn't a talent and it's not going to get me very far. But some of these things that I am actually now doing with regards to the carbon fibre repairs is something that does take a lot of time and a lot of experience. It's something I don't have a lot of experience with, but at the same point I'm willing to learn. So because I'm willing to learn and I'm willing to give it the time and I'm willing to try it, the next one I'm going to try is a shaft repair, which means that if I've got a broken stick, I'm going to have to try and see if I can find the broken stick and fix the shaft. So I have a friend that's going to give me one of these sticks, and I'm going to have to try and see if I can get it cut and ready to go. I have got an idea of how to do it. I have watched videos previously on how to do the shaft repairs, but we'll see how that one goes nearer the time. For just now, this is obviously me finished for tonight. We'll pick up again tomorrow when I come back in and see how this is looking, if it's 100% set. If it's 100% set and everything's all good, then that's fine. We don't have to do any more work on it, and that's me. I'm quite happy to hand it back off to the customer. And the reason why I'm happy to hand it back off to the customer is because I have done enough on this stick. The amount of work that has been done on this, you would have been cheaper buying another stick. But at the same point, I'm joking when I say that. You're talking just now that the resin itself was £20 for the resin and the hardener. You're then talking that the carbon fibre kit or the carbon fibre sheet was £20, which is this stuff up here. Then you're talking that the carbon fibre braided sleeve, that was this thin stuff, the 3K weave stuff that's actually on the stick, was $41. So you're talking so far just in materials you're maybe nearly £80 worth of materials, and then you've got 3-4 hours of labour on top of that. And the way that we work our labour is it's £25 an hour for your labour. Again, it just depends. If you then talk about the fact that we've done it's £180 to repair a stick, that's not the case. The thing is, there is materials here that you're still going to be able to use. We're still going to be able to use this. It had to be bought for another project anyway. The carbon fibre sheet had to be bought for another project anyway. The resin had to be bought for another project anyway. As long as you can maximise your product that you have, example, if you buy something for £20 and you make it last for 3 or 4 repairs, then that's fine, that's not a problem. It's the time and effort that you put into something to try and get the finish right. And my opinion is, I think I've done not too bad with regards to the finish. I will have another look at it tomorrow. I don't want to have to sand it back in again. The reason why we put another coat of resin on it, this resin does get extremely hard and it does set very, very nicely. There is very, very minimal runs on this resin as well. The reason being is I put it on very, very fine, and it's like glossing your painted gloss. Like these parts of your door frame, you don't put hundreds on and then have hundreds of runs. You do it a little bit at a time. So that's exactly what I've done. So I'm now hoping that this stick blade is absolutely finished and we can put this one to bed.
Well, good morning everybody. It is Saturday the 9th of August and Stephen's not here yet, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pairs of skates for him to do. Shall we see if he's there? No, see, no, not there yet. Where could he possibly be while we're putting his makeup on? He's just moving. Good morning!
Hi.
Time to call us.
My start plate.
Yeah, 11 pairs of skates. Woohoo! And Stuart brought a wee bit of stitching for Stuart.
Right, okay.
It's not much, just to stitch. He just caught it when the stitching was coming off, so really simple, just that wee bit. And he's brought you something to play with. He doesn't want it back, it's just you wanted a broke stick. There's a broke.
Is he in?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a look at the fixed one?
No, I never showed them that yet. Fixed one.
The blade wasn't enough hanging off it. So I'm sure Pamela said hello in the video earlier on. It is 1:55 now. It's Saturday the 9th of August and I had about 15 sharpenings there that I walked into. I was slightly late. I got wrapped up watching the new video from Hockey Tutorial. I was watching the Trigger 10 release, and if anybody knows, I am a bit of a stick geek. I like the sticks, especially sticks with new technology and stuff like that, to make your shot harder. It's all about technique that makes your shot harder, but for me, I fell in love with the CCM trigger stick years ago when it first came out. I just thought that was the best stick since sliced bread, and it's been getting progressively better every single year. So I've got a pair of Bauer Hyperlights that I've got to repair today, and the glove is basically coming away just in this area here. You can see it's hard to do with one hand, but while I'm recording, this area here is coming apart. So because that area is coming apart, what that means is I have to relieve all of the stitching and relieve this part here. Then there's the stitching that's round about this area here. Have to relieve the stitching off of that, and then I have to do the stitching for the actual thumb area. Most people would think that's a really, really easy job, but it's time consuming. You've got to basically relieve 4 or 5 different areas of the stitching, and then you've got to redo it as well. I also have had a stick that's been brought into me by a good friend Stuart, who's a teammate of mine, and I don't know if I really want to touch it, being it's a Fife Flyers stick. That's an old joke. Because we're from Paisley and Fife had massive rivalry back in the day. So this is a stick that is, it looks to me as if it is a Warrior Alpha LX2 Pro. Some of these sticks that I have seen before that came through Fife, especially with regards to the Warriors, they were coverts that were dressed as alphas. I think it just seems to be the easiest way of doing things through there. They obviously just go for one style of stick with one specific colour and one colour scheme, and that's just what they go for. One of the things that he's did is obviously he's broke his stick, and it's broken quite a precarious position. So what I'm going to have to do is try and see if I can get something sorted to try and see if I can put this back together. You were probably looking at this going like that's unfixable. To me, I will probably agree with you, it is probably unfixable, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. You never get by in life without giving it a try, so I'm going to see if I can fix a couple of the bits that's broken in here and see if there's a way of rejoining them. I have seen things before with these sticks where what you would do is you would clean up all the broken parts of the carbon fibre, and then you would utilise different carbon fibre, like your carbon fibre sleeve. You would roll your carbon fibre sleeve up and put it in here, and then obviously pour resin in at the other end of the stick at this end. Then the resin obviously makes its way down the shaft of the stick all the way to the broken area, and then obviously that is then a case of the carbon fibre and resin adheres to the inside of the stick and makes it sturdy again. I am going to have a look at this one in more depth and see what I'm going to do with it, but that's the plan for that one. It is looking like it could probably use another coat of resin, but that's just me being OCD, I think. So anyway, there it is. That is the finished article. I won't sand this again. There's no point in me sanding it. If I'm going to do another coat of resin, I'll just put another coat of resin over the top of it. There is a couple of lumps and bumps from the resin because that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you find that if you've got a stray strand of carbon fibre after you've sanded it, it can sometimes cause a little bump. So we have a couple of bumps there. We have a little bit here where the palm sander bumped through the carbon fibre sock, but that's still got a really good part of carbon fibre behind here. There is a little bubble here and a little bubble here, but that's where the carbon fibre hasn't adhered properly to the actual stick blade. But again, it's in an area where I'm really not worried about it because it's away from the brake. The brake was on the back, so all the structural rigidity that it's needed is on the back, and that's exactly where that is the sturdiest. We're going to try and see if we can get some more resin on this to try and make it a little bit more presentable. It is relatively quite presentable at the moment, I would say. It's just obviously there's a couple of little bits on it that I'm not happy with, being the fact that obviously I'm a bit of a control freak and I like these things to be done a specific way. So I'm going to try and see if I can get that done at some point today, maybe near the end of the shift. The reason why I say near the end of the shift is because tomorrow Pamela is coming in to do some work in the store because I'm at a coaching course. Now there was a bit of confusion whether I was actually having to go on this course or not. There was a customer of mine came in and told me that the coaching course was every 3 years that you had to go for a refresher. That's not necessarily been the case, but he's been told that it's every 3 years, but it's every 2 years you've got to go for a level 2. Now the level 2 is basically a head coach role, and that head coach role allows you to coach at Elite League, and it gets you to be able to coach at junior level, international level as well. I don't necessarily need that qualification, if I'm honest. It's usually just a case that in recreational hockey in Scotland that you can sign a game sheet with a level 1 and you're classed as an assistant coach with a level 1 qualification if you go to coach junior hockey. But I'd like the idea of the possibility of being able to go and do coaching at junior level again, maybe later on in life. So seeing as it's quite quiet at the moment, one of the plans is to try and see if I can get these shoulder pads done and finished. I mean, obviously they have to have some new strappings put on them. That's not necessarily a major issue because I have got the strapping stuff here and I got my new Velcro here as well. So we've just got to basically try and see if we can get it done. I don't know if I'm going to bore you with the time lapse on this one, so I'm going to have a wee look at it, see what I'm going to do, see what's going to go the best, measure some stuff up, cut some stuff, get some stuff ready, and then I'll come back and see you guys once I'm ready to start sewing. So as per usual, I started trying to do a repair and something goes completely wrong. I had originally used the machine the last time, and I'm talking about the sewing machine. Pamela set the whole thing up the last time for the right tension and everything. I started doing my job today and I started doing the first of the strapping system that was making for Scott's shoulder pads, and first thing happened. It was first bead of stitching was absolutely perfect. The second bead of stitching it burst. So now Pamela's making herself really important and she's doing a load of repairs on the machine for me so I can continue on with the actual sewing. So we finally managed to get the sewing machine fixed. The sewing machine was not the problem, it was the thread. The thread was too thin, and we managed to get some extra things made today, so I'm quite happy with that. That's me managed to get most of the stuff finished. Just quickly, I never managed to do the glove. I have another glove sitting over at my desk that has to get a patch put into the pattern. That'll be a Tuesday job when I'm back in. So the new straps have been professionally sewn in with the sewing machine. We've got some brand new Velcro on the back, or not on that one. Brand new Velcro, not on that one. That's Velcro that's been reused. The reason being is we were having a little bit of an issue with the Velcro that I got off of Amazon. Actually it was a sticky back on it, and so it wasn't, we thought that was what the problem was and it wasn't sewn through, but it was sewn through. it was just the thread was very bad. So there's new Velcro on this one as well. I've actually been asked to make it slightly tighter. So because it was loose, I've made it as tight as possible. So we now have all new straps on them, which is great. It's brilliant. I'm happy. I've got it done, and that's that job done. That can get crossed off the list. The other thing that I actually had to get done was I had to get the speedy stitcher out, and I had to put a little bead of stitching just in here to hold this breastplate back in place. I then had to get the speedy stitcher back out again and re-sew this part because it had been sewn through before and it was coming loose. And I'm sure there was another part somewhere else where I actually had to speedy stitch. Yeah, I did. It was actually the shoulder, so the shoulder had to be speedy stitched onto place as well. So that is Scott's stuff all done, all dusted. That's his shin done, his shoulder pads done. I've got Lewis's skates all done. I've got his dad's skates, Stevie's skates done. I've got another pair of skates that have to come to me to training on Tuesday night, which are sitting there for Matthew's sister. That is us more or less finished. So I'll tie in with Pam quickly and then we can put this video to bed. So how did your day go?
Yes, fine. It was very busy actually. We had lots and lots and lots of customers. I sold a kit deal, lots of sizing, lots of kids in to check if things fit, prepare for the season coming.
Because we've had time off through the summer.
Because they've had time off through the summer, and our experience is kids do a hell of a lot of growing. So it's been particularly busy all throughout the day, and any time I have had, I've been knee deep, head down, trying to finish the price list. The price lists, I would say, are 75% finished, and I've started to put together the till uploads. We use spreadsheets to put all the products into the till. We use spreadsheets to put all the products onto the website. The spreadsheets for the till will start off the spreadsheets for the site. So I'll be able to use both. So I'm going to start by putting them into the site, and then we can expand the sheet to put in the variants. And then that will go onto the site for products that aren't already on the site. Obviously I jumped on to try and help you solve your sewing machine problem. So it's been a bit of a juggling match all day.
So it's quite funny. So Pam's obviously got the whole aspect of doing, like, what was it you used to do in school?
Home economics.
Home economics, right. So Pam had the home economics background. I didn't have that. I had the cooking aspect of home economics. I never ever done anything else. It's obviously
grounding in the sewing machine.
Yeah, it's like everything. I can turn my hand to most things. It's just the fact that it's usually a bit of a, how would I put it, read and adapt or learn as you go with a lot of the stuff that I've got to do. Most of the stuff that I do with the Speedy Stitcher. It's just obviously it's slightly different when you've got a machine to do your sewing. I really want to get something that I can do the palms with though, because see if I was to use an actual machine to do the palms, I'd be able to crank out 3-4 sets in a day, no problem. It's just the fact that you've got to do them by hand and it takes so much time.
The heavy duty machines are a good couple of grand, so
£7,500 for a sewing machine.
£7,500. And if it's between a sewing machine and a Pro Sharp.
Other brands are available. There is CAG ones. We are actually something that we've got in the pipeline, and something that we've actually spoke about is the increased actual volume of people asking for profiles on their skates. We have actually been looking into getting a profiling machine. We actually were considering getting a Blade Master one, but that then means that we would have to get a full machine, which is probably about £12,000-13,000 or more, and then you've got all your parts and stuff like that to add on to it, and you've got to do it by hand. What we were actually thinking of doing was using something that was slightly easier with a CAG 1 machine, or we were actually thinking about getting a Pro Sharp AS 2001, I believe it is, which you can actually profile 2 skate steels at the same time. That is the kind of wish list of things that I would like for the store. The reason being is it makes my life slightly easier as well, because Pamela can then sharpen skates that way, because she might actually be able to reach the machine.
Thanks very much.
It's not that you can't sharpen skates, it's just the fact that you've not had the time to do it.
We've just not had, I mean, I was learning years ago, way before we had the kids, and we had more time in the store. We had more time after hours, we had more time to be able to do stuff. Because I mean, if you think about price lists, website work, that all happened out with the shop hours. We would come in midnight, 11 till midnight, 11 till 2 in the morning, battle out price lists, get them on the website, then go home, sleep for a few hours and whatever. But we have kids now. There's no chance we can do that, especially with our 2 dogs. We haven't got that luxury, so they have to happen during the hours. And obviously I was learning how to sharpen skates at that stage in time where we did have more time, we had more flexibility, but we just don't have that flexibility. So me getting the time on the machine when we've got so much going on, which is a great thing to have, but we just don't have the time for me to train at the moment.
This is one for the guys, and you'll understand this. Do you know how when you go into the men's urinals and you've got a urinal that's like normal size and then you've got one that's kid size? Well, Pam needs a kid size sharpening machine because she's not as tall as me, and that's basically how it's going to need to be. And it's, if we can manage to get one of the AS2001 machines which does both profiling and sharpening, it means that if we are excessively busy, Pam can jump on the AS2001 machine and she can fire some skates through that on that. Obviously, we want to make sure that the skates are level and they're going to be set up the right way. The other thing that we were talking about is like we said, is the excessive amount of people asking for profiles, like quad profiles and trying this and that and the next thing. And being totally honest with you, this is maybe the old school in me. Usually when someone comes in and asks for something or tells you there's an issue with their skate profile, it's very easy for me to pick up on it. If they describe that they feel like they're leaning back, I'll pitch them forward. If they describe that they're too far forward, I'll put them more neutral. If they feel like they're tripping over the toes, I'll take a bit off the toe. If they're feeling like they're catching the heel, I'll take a bit off the heel. It's not an exact science, but at the same point, with 14 years plus experience of doing this before me knowing anything about profiling, it was just skate sharpening. I think I'm quite adept to doing it by hand, but obviously there's a lot of people that have decided now that they would like it to be done by a machine. I think it's one of these things where we have to get with the times, because we spoke about it for 14 years of doing it, so it's one of these things that we have actually spoke about that we want to be able to offer. With regards to the profiles, the profiling and stuff like that all need to be charged accordingly, because we've obviously got a machine to pay for, and it's whether we would have enough profiles on skates and steels to be able to warrant having one. It's not like we are going to be like other stores and we're going to have to force you into getting a profile, or you have to have a profile. Look, if you don't want to have a profile and want to skate on the steels that come straight out of the box, I'm happy for you. At the same point, if you decide to tell me you want a bit off the toe and the heel and to make life easy for yourself and for me, then again, that's where I am sitting at the moment. But profiling machines is something that we are looking at the moment to try and add another string to our bow. So that's right now we're doing sewing work, we're doing custom work, we're doing carbon fibre repairs, we're going to be offering profiling in the forthcoming months. And obviously that's, if we manage to find ourselves a machine at the right price, then that's something that we're going to be looking at.
Clothing's coming back. We're trying to make it into a figure skate hub. We're not keep the hockey stuff going, be better at the hockey stuff. We're going to be a figure skate hub. We're hoping to bring some of the new Idea clothing in that's just been released this season, the new black and gold stuff. We've got all the new guards and bags all coming in, all be coming into the store.
That's like our stuff, like the stuff that we're talking about doing, we can tie in with that as well. Obviously we've got like the hockey stuff there, guys are going to be coming in, or not necessarily guys and girls will be coming in looking maybe for a t-shirt or a hoodie for round out the rink. That's the kind of stuff that we're offering for the likes of figure skating as well.
We might get the odd hockey player wants to wear an Idea black and gold jacket with the social B.
What's his name, Lewis Gardner?
Well, maybe we'll get on one.
Now he's lost all of that weight, he could actually be the model for it. For today, I think that is us finished. So Pamela, do you want to do your wee sign off for us?
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Tell your friends, get them liking all the channels, Facebook, TikTok, all the rest of it. And don't forget, keep it cold-blooded.
Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.